going on, YouTube? This is For What It's Worth with your host Hector, and today we have a brand new review. But before we get into the review, I just have to say, if you haven't already, smash that like button, click that lovely red subscribe button. Once you click that lovely red subscribe button, a bell appears. Click that button, you get a notification every time I post a video. So today's review is Whiplash. It was made in 2014, directed by Damien Chazelle. The runtime for this movie is 1 hour and 47 minutes. The movie is a drama/indie film. There are some new segments I can't wait to get into, but before we get into the segments, if you have not seen this movie, I'm going to be going to spoiler warnings and spoiler territory, so I'm just giving you guys that warning right now. If you have not seen the movie, pause the video, check out the movie, come back. If you personally don't care, grab some snacks. Let's get into some of those segments. First segment we're going to get into is called Casting Couch. Let's get right into it. This is the Casting Couch, where I'm going to be talking about the actors and actresses and who they play in the movie. So here we go. Our two lead main roles is Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons. They play the two main characters that have the most chemistry in the movie. So Miles Teller's character is the character we watch through the entire movie. His name is Andrew Neiman. And J.K. Simmons' character is Fletcher, the jazz teacher. There are also some side characters I added because they added some part to Andrew. So we have Andrew's dad, which is played by Paul Reiser. His name is Jim Neiman. We have his girlfriend, played by Melissa Benoist. That is Nicole. And then we have some people that are in his jazz band that are Austin Stowell as Ryan. And then we got Nate Long as Carl Tanner. Those are the entire cast members that add like a more dialogue or somewhat to the story. So this is all I have for this segment. Now let's move on to more of the review. All right, let's get to the things I love about this movie. There are 4 things I love about this movie. The sound design, I love the cinematography, I love the dialogue, and I love the lighting. So why I like those main things is because the two main leads, like I told you, J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller, really have such a chemistry with each other that it's just insane that you feel one another like hate for each other. It's not like, oh, you side with one another. You hate either one of them, but you mostly side with Andrew more than Fletcher. Because Fletcher, oh my lord, is one of the worst teachers I've ever seen on movie history.
Do you think you're out of tune?
Yes.
Then why the fuck didn't you say so?
I know there's been like other teachers in films that are terrible, but this is one of the worst teachers I've seen that want to push your students to be better. But that's just what's great about the dialogue, is that you feel bad for Andrew and you are so glad you never had a teacher like that, but you wish you could do something to Fletcher. It's like, this is such a terrible man of what he does to his students, especially to Andrew. And I also love the lighting. The lighting feels very dark, gloomy, and it has that feel through the entire movie. It's not like dark like some other movies that do it so terribly. It's like dark and awkward, where it's like you feel the awkwardness in the lighting when these characters yell or scream at each other, or you feel the tension, and that's why I like the lighting. And then the sound design, why I like the sound design in the movie is because when they play jazz band in this movie, you feel like the vibration of the music, or like you're in the band with them, playing with them. And I don't think a lot of movies do that like as much anymore, especially like when it does have good sound design. There are some points where it's like, this movie just has good sound design or not. This movie does it so well, where it's like, even like when someone punches someone, you feel that like vibration of someone punching someone, or like tackling someone, or like a car accident.
Okay, look, why don't you just tell Fletcher that I'm coming, you motherfucker?
Like, you feel these things in the movie, and that's just what's insane and why this movie is just so well directed. And I even love just how the cinematography is. The cinematography, when it zooms into certain camera angles, like certain shots with the drum set or his hands, the blisters, or like the blood in the movie, like, we're not talking like a gore fest, we're talking like he's getting blisters and popping them because he's playing the drums so well and like super fast that it's starting to bruise and blister his hands. But I also love the message where it's being too obsessed can be a good thing, but also a curse. Like, being good at something, but having an obsession is not a bad thing, but you should know your limits on how far your body or just your mind can take you. Because if you keep pushing yourself, that's a good thing in some positive ways, but also can lead you down a negative. You don't know how to control yourself, you want to be alone, you don't want to help yourself or be surrounded by people that can help you. So those are things I love. This message really drives across the whole movie where you can be like, wow, that is insane. Because there are probably people out there that have hobbies or work where you want to push yourself so much, where you want to be the best at it. I need to do more. I need to be better. But how can I be better? And when you try to be better, sometimes you end up screwing people over, or you screw yourself over in a way where it's like,
I don't think that we should be together. And I've thought about it a lot, and this is what's gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna keep pursuing what I'm pursuing. And because I'm doing that, it's gonna take up more and more of my time, and I'm not gonna be able to spend as much time with you. And even when I do spend time with you, I'm gonna be thinking about drumming. And I'm gonna be thinking about jazz music and my charts and all that. And because of that, you're gonna start to resent me.
oh my God, what person am I, or what person can I become? And that's why I like this movie when it comes to the obsession message to the character Andrew, and Fletcher just wanting things to be perfect.
The folder is your fucking responsibility, Tanner. Why would you give it to Neiman? Right? You give a calculator to a fucking retard, he's gonna try to turn on a TV with it. Now get your sticks and get your ass on stage.
I now want to get to my favorite part. So we have a new segment, the Fun Facts Corner. So let's hop on over there. All right, fun facts. All right, facts that I learned from watching the movie or watching behind the scenes or just getting them from interviews and stuff. This movie was filmed in 19 days. Every day was 14-hour shifts of filming. Imagine doing that. It sounds very insane. This director, Damien, is willing to do the extra mile to really make a amazing film. And that's crazy how other movies that have short deadlines don't feel finished, or they feel rushed, or the dialogue feels terrible, or the CGI is just not even done. Nowadays, movies just feel rushed, or like they just don't feel finished. That's also another reason why I like Whiplash. And another fact was, speaking of the director being like able to do this in 19 days, in 3 weeks of filming this movie, he was in a car accident that was a serious car accident, where it put him in the hospital for a concussion. The next day he left the hospital and he just continued filming. He just went back to filming because he wanted to finish his movie on a deadline. That just goes back to what I said about the main point of the movie. Obsession to be perfect, or just obsession to be the best. And it's crazy how the director was in a car accident, and there's a scene of a car accident in the movie. Was this added because of the incident that happened, or was this already an idea? And that's why I like his directing in other movies, but mostly this one. Another fact was the blisters and blood you see from Andrew's hand when he's playing the drums so hard and so fast that you see blood and stuff. That's most of Miles Teller's real blood from his hands. Like, because there would be scenes where he had to play the drums so fast that the director didn't even say cut, or didn't say cut at all. For a while, and then when they finally got that emotion that he wanted from Miles Teller, he finally said cut. And yes, I know that sounds terrible, but Miles wanted to make this movie very just raw and real, and that's crazy that he was willing to blister his hand and make it bleed just for a film. And that's just great acting right there, or just willing to make a movie come together. So this has been the fun fact segment. Let's get back to the rest of the review. So let's get into most of the story with these characters. All right, let's get into Andrew and Fletcher. Andrew is a very closed-off person. He does not get the amount of confident because his dad does not support him when he comes to jazz. Like, he doesn't think he can do it like as a profession. He thinks like, oh, just becoming a blue-collar person can be successful. Andrew doesn't think that. Andrew wants to be successful in music because that's what he's passionate about, and he wants his dad to see that like, this is something I can do, something I can be remembered for.
So that's your idea of success, huh?
I think being the greatest musician of the 20th century is anybody's idea of success.
When Fletcher gives him the opportunity to join his class, Andrew starts getting that confidence because someone believes in his talent. Someone can push him to the limit. And he finally gets that confident boost, but he's kind of a jerk about it. But you can't blame him because he never got the confidence from his family. Like, they literally brush it off like, oh, he's like, oh, I joined this big band in school. They're like, oh, cool, basically. They're like, oh, Andrew's drumming. It's like, wow, way to support someone right there. When he finally goes to that first class, Fletcher told him to go at 6 a.m. in the morning. He was late, which is a bad look. But what's crazy, he made Andrew come in almost 2 hours before the class even started. I think it started at 8 or 9. And then he looked at the board and it showed what time the class started. And he was like so confused. He is just sitting there trying to tune the drums or whatever. Once it hit 9 o'clock, everyone stood up like they're soldiers once. Fletcher just comes into the room like an army sergeant. And at first he's just playing Whiplash. They're playing the song Whiplash, and JK's putting on a good acting like, oh yeah, you got this.
Got Buddy Rich here.
And then he's just like, not quite my tempo, but. And then he's like, are you rushing? Or are you you're dragging? Or no, you're rushing. And then this is where you see the insane Fletcher that is just out of nowhere.
Worthless, friendless faggot.
Really out of nowhere. And before this happened, he said, can we get a 10-minute break? And then he started getting to know Andrew. And then Andrew gave him basically a weapon. He gave him words that like could use against Andrew. And then that's usually once Fletcher found that out, he used it against Andrew.
Whose mommy left daddy.
And it's just crazy how this dude acts. Like, when I mean, oh, he's an insane teacher. No, insane is an understatement. Crazy is where it is.
Look at me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
But also, you can see he's trying to push Andrew so much that he wants him to be the best. And that's why at the end, he goes off stage because there was a situation where Fletcher was just like, get the F off my stage. And Andrew was just defeated. And his dad was there to comfort him. And he's like, it's okay. Then he finally just goes back on stage and just starts playing the drums and didn't care how Fletcher was like, oh, I'm going to kill you for continue playing. No, he just continued playing, didn't care what Fletcher was going to do to him, didn't care what he was going to say to him. And again, what I mean by Fletcher is insane is that there was a car accident scene. Like, Andrew was rushing back because he forgot his drumsticks. Like, I'm surprised he couldn't borrow drumsticks from another drummer. No, he had to drive back from a rental car area, forgot his drumsticks, and he ends up getting into a car accident. Like, and then gets out of the car and then gets to the rehearsal. And it's just like, that just shows that Fletcher doesn't care. He will take you and like strangle you because you think you need to impress him. You think you need to be the best. And it's crazy how he's just constantly like, no. You're not getting that part. You're not getting that part. Even though you could be working so hard for it, he will do anything to hurt you or mentally mess you up, to feel like you're not good enough. And he does this the most to Andrew.
Look, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Connolly's playing the part.
Yeah, fucking it's playing my part.
What the fuck did you just say to me?
It's my part.
And Andrew's just like defeated. But it's just crazy to see how much Fletcher will go to basically abuse his students to be perfect.
Allowed charge into Schaefer. Am I to understand that you cannot read tempo? Can you even fucking read music? What is that?
Eighth note.
And Andrew is not giving up because he wants to be perfect. That is my review on Whiplash. Let me know what you guys think. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you guys think about the movie. If this movie piquing your interest, I recommend it. It's on Netflix right now, so go watch it. I will give this movie a score from 1 to 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. The reason why I would give it a 10 out of 10 is because it's just perfect. Even though it's out of control when it comes to how Fletcher is as a teacher, it's still crazy how this movie can do so much. Like, even if you don't play band, like you're not in jazz band, it brings you in this mindset like, oh, this can be in anywhere. Cooking, engineering, like it doesn't matter. You'll have a teacher that's like Fletcher, maybe not that over the top, but will treat you so badly to think you're not perfect, but you are perfect. You know you could do it. And they always push you down because they want you to be better. It's tough love. It's nothing but tough love. And I just think also it just shows like Andrew is just willing to do whatever it takes. So yes, I will give this movie a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for all the support and love and all the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching.